Hey Greg,
Mhm.
I have been working that new class a lot, mystical
Which one? Which one?
foundations of mystical healing.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Seattle.
Oh, yeah, the
Um,
one I taught there. Yeah, duh.
it's okay. You've been writing. You've been writing.
Yeah.
Ready for that book anytime.
End of
Um,
April. It will be out in the end of April.
Yay. So I was telling you how I needed to do some healing on childbirth trauma, and I've
Yes.
done that process probably 4 times with that. You said it was like when I felt like blissful when I thought about it, that would sort of signify it
Yeah.
was. And I'm not getting to that state, but I'm having trouble like I'm trying to bring up those feelings like fear and pain and all that so that I can like get it to the surface, get it healed. And I just,
Yeah, you actually don't need to really recall the pain and everything. Just keep observing the situation.
okay.
And you know, the thing that happens like when you do the process out of that class is the pain and the emotional intensity will actually diminish, but the last thing to go is still like some like physiological responses, and then things that would get triggered like in the mind to like stimulate like an almost like an instinctive response in the mind. And
Okay.
and so if you're having a hard time pulling up the intensity or the pain, that's good. It's in that means it's in process. Like
Yeah.
you know, if it started off that way, it's like, well, you know, maybe you're a little numb to it and checked out a little bit, but you know, even as you go through and do it, it will just feel like it floats away. But you know, that was an intense thing that you were talking about, and that the intensity is diminished and the pain is diminished. Just keep working that for a bit, and at some point, it should reach that state. You know,
Okay.
sometimes when it's you know, I have like an accident that I do that for. You know, back in the day, you know, it was a long time ago. It was like 30 something years ago, and you know, I don't work it all the time, but when I sit and work it, I was like, oh boy, I really got it. And then like a couple of months goes by, and I go, let me go back and visit that again. There's still something there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's like the more intense the pain was at the time, like a lot of times, like amount of time it takes to break it down, but it's moving, you know. And I think for you, that's all signs that it's moving, and you know that you're not feeling the pain and everything or the intensity is good. And a lot of times that's where we'd go, oh, that's good, but keep
Yeah.
pushing deeper, because there's
Okay.
usually more things there. And you know, one of the things that you can do is we didn't really discuss this in the class. We were going to discuss it in the study group this coming up weekend. But basically, what I'll have you do is, you know, how like you think of the external situation.
Mhm.
So part of what when I'm teaching the ministers for Astara and things like this, I have them do this thing where you're doing kind of like how you would do chakra breathing, you know, how like we do the patterns in the classes, and you're inhaling with your awareness on your heart. And then on a deeper level, I would have them visualize like white light coming in and then dirty gray leaving, right?
Yeah.
It's a way to kind of clean up the area. But you're also training your energy body, like, okay, bring energy in and then have energy go out. So at first it's a cleansing effect. But in this practice, like what we're talking about, you focus on a subject, on a time, an event, a situation, and as you look at it, you're as you're inhaling, you're visualizing the event, and you're inhaling it into the heart. And then as you exhale, it's like you're not exhaling dirty energy to it, you're just connecting to it. Like, so you're
Mhm.
inhaling, coming in, exhaling, going out, inhaling,
Okay.
coming in, exhaling, going out. Do that several times, right? Several
Okay.
times. Then, after you've done that, part of what you want to do is you want to be able to increase the potential for your mind to process it. Because a lot of times what happens is we let it go emotionally, but mentally it's in the maze. You know what I mean? It's gotten in there somewhere, and we got to unwind that, right?
Mhm.
And so the breathing with the heart, that amplifies your ability to release it emotionally. But after you've done that several times, move your awareness to the back heart between the shoulder blades and keep looking at that situation. And so there you're transmuting things more emotionally, but at that point, the back heart helps move it to the mind or the brain so that the mind can anchor onto it and process it. And a lot of times when we're having a hard time like letting go of a trauma, it's like the mind's being affected, but at the same time, it's like the mind doesn't even know that it's there. Like it's like, you know, if you were walking around in the dark and somebody just kept walking up behind you and hitting you, and you turn around and nobody's there, it's like that's what kind of trauma does to the mind a little bit. You know, it's like it doesn't see it coming, and then when it happens, you get triggered a little bit. Then you kind of do that thing where you go, okay, what is this? Let's make sense out of it. Let's assign it something that's going on now so that I make sense out of this and maybe diminish it the next time, right? Well,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just these old traumas, right? So you breathe back and forth and then get it to the back heart and then just sit with it in the back heart for a little bit.
Okay.
And then do that for a little while. And after a little while, I'll teach you the next step, but it's even that is going to be a little bit congesting to the heart.
Yeah.
And so be sure to do it with oils, because the oils will keep it moving. Where
Yeah.
when I first did that technique many years ago, we didn't do it with oils. We would do it, and then we would burn like incense or burn some, like, you know, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like sage or something. We'd burn some sage to try to clean that up. And then we took to like taking a stone and rubbing it on the chest, you know, basically starting to do cleansing.
Yeah.
The oils do it so much easier. So like just do it with the oil. Like, if you want to sweep it a little bit, you can afterwards, but usually the oils will clean it up. The Violet Healer out of that class would probably be your best bet, or gold.
Okay.
Yeah, but do that for a little bit and see how that treats you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And Megan, are you still there?
Yeah.
So with that, I'm just curious, like, so you're doing that process, but like when you step away from that process, how are you feeling like during the day, during the week? Like, how are you feeling when you're doing stuff?
So like the claustrophobia is still really bad. And I don't know if it's because I'm bringing up more trauma as I'm working on so much stuff. But it's like been pretty bad lately. I don't know.
You know, kind of flared up a little bit.
Maybe a bit, not a ton, but a bit. The next thing that came to my mind, because I started to think, well, have other things made me feel like trapped and out of control or in pain? And the pandemic then came to my mind, and I wondered if like I need to do healing with that, because I felt like I couldn't take my kids anywhere, even the jungle gyms were closed.
It's probably good for all of us, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this. It's hard because I mean, it's just been emotionally frustrating because I just want to find one thing that works so I can keep doing it. But like if something works, it only works a couple times, it improves, and then it doesn't work like that technique. It doesn't make a difference anymore. And so I'm just like, why is this so hard? Like, it's really confusing to me.
Like maybe when it's coming up, see if you think that, like, is it times where you might feel like there's a sense of like a potential for pain or failure or things not working out, something of that nature. And just like pay attention and see if like there's a little bit of that, you know, because like when we've had events like what you've gone through, there starts to be like these protective mechanisms that try to avoid that kind of scenario again. I mean, we don't sit and think it out like don't have babies anymore. It's
Yeah.
because you were talking about like giving birth. It's more like don't get in that much pain. Don't be out of control. Don't like lose your control in any given situation. It starts to be these like really primal unconscious drives that are not in your normal everyday mind, but your body is like jumping on the
Yeah, that's
you
the
know,
description
going,
of it is like, I need to be in
yeah.
control. So that's why
Yeah.
like anytime anything is mechanical, I know that I can't control it. I can't control an elevator door. So
Right.
I immediately go to like, well, I'm not getting in something that I can't control myself.
Right.
And kids, I lost all autonomy, freedom, ability to just go to the grocery store without a half an hour of prep. Kids start screaming in the store. I have to abandon my grocery cart and leave. And I mean, there's just
Mhm.
instant no control like that. Like the childbirth was just the beginning of like so
So,
many examples of no control.
and I think I remember at one point you got Embrit.
Yeah.
Try doing the body awareness and the external event also with the Embrit.
Okay.
Just like how you're doing with the colored oil,
Yeah, colored blends.
violet healer, orange healer, all that. Try
Yeah.
doing the same thing, but with Embrit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love Embrit.
Really feel it in your body and then go to the event and then almost even a deeper emphasis of feeling it in the body more than the event itself. But like you're almost kind of going to the event to like kind of trigger a response in the body and then go back to the body to calm it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Try
the
that.
childbirth, I started out like doing like the uterus and the, reproductive organs, but that's not where I actually felt the issue. Like it just felt like it was congested down there. But actually I felt like when I thought about that experience, I felt it more like in the solar plexus. So then I went to the solar plexus instead.
Just think of the birthing process itself. Like do that and then just like where do you feel it in your body? And you're almost looking for just like little areas in your body that like tense up or get a little rigid or start to like try to like tense up to like protect your body.
Yeah, that's what I mean. By
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's where I felt
Perfect.
it with the solar plexus when I recall. So.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and it's shrinking. Like the area that I feel tense is like it's shrinking. Like there's less of it. I'm trying to look for it. So it's all like moving and improving. But
Okay.
I'll try that.
Yeah, let's see. Like, keep doing it and then also integrate the Embrit in it and let's see how that goes.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.